So just wanted to show y'all this. Just some things you got to be thinking about, or at least I'm thinking about, you know, now that I'm into this thing. But y'all see I pretty much got those two pieces. I got them tacked down. They're not welded in hardcore yet. But right here, what I'm running into is a problem right here on this corner right here. See this piece right here, it's worn down. And this is the mouth. So when I line it up with that, that's what I got, y'all. And that ain't gonna get it. I can't put a weld, you know, that thick. You know, so what I did is I cut a piece of steel, stock steel, and I'm gonna weld that in here like that. And then I'm gonna go in and line it up where I can make sure this part right here has got to line up, or you're not gonna be able to do nothing. So I'm gonna go and line it up and probably just tack it, just a little bitty old tack, you know. And then I'm gonna come back over here and well, I'm not even gonna be able to tack it. I'm gonna have to weld this piece in there before I do anything with this piece. See what I'm saying? Because I won't be able to weld it to the back of there. So yeah, that's where I'm at, man. So I just kind of wanted to show y'all that. Now, all right, y'all. So y'all see that? And that weld is not. I mean that's. I hadn't put the grinder on it or nothing, and that does not look bad at all. You know, I don't know how good you guys can see that. But that welds that piece to the metal, and all of that piece to the metal. So yeah. That ain't going nowhere, man. I'm gonna reach in here on the back of this piece right here and weld it, reach down in there and weld it to the back, but it ain't going nowhere. There's not a lot of torque on this, if that makes any sense. There's really not a lot of torque on none of this, the whole baffle system. It ain't like it's holding weight or nothing. Y'all see the hole in the deck right here? That was a rusted hole. It was rusted out. And so what I did is I went on and drilled it out, and then I was able to move my piece of metal that way or that way to that little finger right there. See, so yeah, it's just some things that you do. And what I'll do now is I'll lay a piece of steel up there, maybe like, I don't know, a piece of an edger blade or something, whatever. I mean, I got a piece of edger blade right there. I can lay a piece of edger blade right there flat on the deck and just weld it to the deck, and that'll be good. That'll help fortify this end. Now, of course, I'm going to weld the bottom of this, not solid, but I'm going to weld it, you know, all the way through, you know. So, yeah. All right, y'all, back to time lapse. y'all can kind of see, I got the whole front baffle in. I got a camera's finna go dead. I gotta grind some of these welds down and kind of clean everything up. But the whole front is done as far as the welding goes. Now it's just about, you know, cleaning it up. Okay, y'all, so back out here again. We're continuing to work on this thing. So what I've had to do here is this piece right here. This piece right here is doing this. It's turning sideways like this. And so I'm going to have to knock it down on this side, get it back where it's, you know, level, you know. This is mandatory. This has got to be right here. There's no maybe or close. It's got to be correct. So whatever I have to do for that. Yeah. But if you look across this deck, there's all kinds of bad marks and stuff. You know, well, not, I don't want to say marks, but y'all see that. And see, I'm trying to fix all of that stuff as I go over the deck. So we'll fix it. I'm just gonna try to weld it, you know. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of little stuff like that all over the place. Anyway, I'm gonna put y'all back on time lapse. We're getting ready to go somewhere in about an hour, so I'm just gonna kind of tinker around out here and, you know, try to get this thing where I can figure it all out, you know. Yeah. I don't know what this damn deck weighs, but it weighs a lot, man. It's not comfortable to pick up. So I'm gonna grind this piece off. I may end up cutting the whole thing out, but I want to make sure I get this hole in the right place. So I want to grind this piece off and see how things look after that. I mean, I really don't even have to cut all this out, man. I can just fill this in with weld, grind that down and fill it in with weld. Put my damn big fat piece of steel here, and then come up from the bottom, drilling the hole. That's my thinking. So back to time lapse. And that's kind of what I was afraid of, y'all. Y'all see the big hole there, and see, that's pretty bad. But see, now I got to figure out where the hole, where my center hole is. And the only way I know to do that is to line up this notch piece. See this notch right here? It goes right there. So I need to go on and do that and cut my hole or mark my hole in the new metal, because otherwise, you know, it's going to get lost in so the hole goes right there. Now, is that hole? That hole goes all the way through to the bottom side. So what I can do is, as long as I don't mess this hole right here up, then what I can do is I can get all this cleaned up, lay my plate steel down, tack it, and then from the bottom side, you know, come up from the bottom side and put this in that hole right there, and then I can get my main hole. This hole's got to be right. It ain't got to be millimeter perfect, but it's got to be really close, because the spring right here is gonna, if this hole's way off, it ain't gonna work right. This spring will give you a little bit of play, but not much. You know, you don't want it to be too tight, and you don't want it to be too loose. So, yeah. Y'all see, this right here is going to pick it up high enough to where I don't even think I'll need another one of these. I don't even think I'll need this. I don't. None of it. About there, you know. It's going to be too high, man. Thunder, you done got it too high then, I think. So what I think is, I think that this piece right here, the thick piece, can take the plate. This plate can take the place of that. As far as we're talking about vertical height here. There's a few other things that I can do, but I don't want to get into it. I could probably take these bolts right here, these nuts off of these spindles, and put a spacer in there and pick these up a little bit if I'm too high here. And we're not talking about a lot, but I think that I can cut this spacer right here off of this piece of steel. Well, I know I can cut it off, and then set it down on here, and then bam, put that on top of there. Yeah, and then that'll do it, man. So yeah, let me cut this piece off of here, because if that ain't gonna work, then I can weld it back on there. Ain't a big deal. It's a good thing about being able to, you know, cut steel and stuff. So yeah. Gonna be honest, man, it looks like it's almost too high. Yep. What's up? It's gonna be too high, man. It needs to come down at least 3/16, even a 1/4 inch. So what can I do here, y'all? I wonder if 2 of these would work. Let's try one of them and see. That's better. Yeah, that's better, but so let's break this thing down into what has to happen. Okay. One of the things that has to happen is this piece has to go down. So that's a mandatory must, right? Talking about this piece. All right, y'all, so we're going to continue on with it. You guys can see where I'm at right here. I'm going to tack this down, and then I'm going to come up from the bottom, and I'm going to drill my hole through this plate. I really don't know how else to do that. I guess I can measure it, but I don't know about that, man. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking, y'all. So time lapse coming, man. All right, y'all, so I knew I was going to run into this problem right here. Where yeah, it's a problem too. I'm trying to think of the best way to tackle it. It's just another thing that came up. I mean, I knew this was going to happen. I just had not really, you know, figured out exactly how I was going to do that. Find the old cheap one. I think I pretty much got how I'm going to do it. So on this bolt right here, this is the OEM bolt, right? And this bolt comes up through the bottom of there, and it comes up like that. The only thing is, it's got this square on it, that square right there on the edge, and that's what went out on the other deck first when it started rusting. That square, and you know, it's basically one of these right here. It looks like that. Y'all see that square? And it was in the bottom of the deck. But see, I don't have nothing to make a square like that. So there's 2 or 3 ways I can do this. I can put it in something like that, right? And weld that in there like that. That might be the best way to go. And then what that's going to do, that'll make it flat up against the bottom of this plate here. See, yeah. But this plate right here is thick enough where I can weld the crap out of it. I could actually just weld this. Well, what I want to do is I like that, and then just weld that to there. See, and then you can just bolt it up just like you would anything else. And then once this is done, one of my things is I'm tired of flipping the mower on and you know, flipping the deck over. Next time I flip it over, I want to be done with it. I'm probably gonna have to use that, man. I mean, because it's got to get higher than it can't just, that bushing can't just ride right there like that. It's going to be too close to the deck. That's how it needs to go. And really, by law, man, what they should have done, they should have made this bolt the next size up. I'm talking about diameter wise, because that's a pretty good distance with a lot of tension on it, you know, and it'll start pulling, and that's what's been happening. I like that. It'd be cool if it were a little bit lower. So we know the bolts, so we'll break it down again like we do everything else. You know, it's how I break shit down where my brain don't get overwhelmed. So we know that the bolt will work. So now let's get the bolt out. Just one thing at a time, you know. Y'all see it, man. That's pretty much it in a nutshell, man. That's gonna work good, I think. Y'all saw how I had to do that. I had to come up with some stuff that's untypical. But so now all I gotta do now, and I'm not gonna do it tonight, all I gotta do now is I'm gonna go around it and I'm gonna tack weld some of the holes. I got some rust converter stuff for the shipping container that I'm going to paint on here. But I'm going to weld all these little holes and stuff, you know, before I flip it over. And then, but once I flip it over and get the bottom side done, then when I flip it back over, so I'm going to have to flip it back over no matter what. Yeah, man. Y'all gotta admit, man, it's looked pretty freaking good, man. I mean, I think, you know. I think it's excelente. So on this mower right here, it's the same mower, right? Same deck. So what I did is I took a measurement on that mower from this center point to this center point. And this is the same. Then I took it from this center point to this center point, and it's the same. Then I took it from this nub back here, you know, that little nub back there, right there, to the center point, and it's the same. So it's right where it's supposed to be. If it's off, it ain't off by enough to do anything. Yeah, I got this rust inhibitor. This is expensive too, man. I'm gonna I'm gonna put that rustic stuff all over this thing, wherever there's rust. And then after I do that, I'm gonna prime it with some just some regular Rust-Oleum primer, and then I'm gonna come back and paint it red again. You know, I'm not gonna be stripping it and all that, man. I'll hit it with a wire brush. But yeah, hey. So right now, y'all, I'm at about 7.5 hours on this thing. So, not all at one time, just a little here and a little there, an hour and a half. Like today, I spent about an hour and a half. This piece right here back on there, this goes underneath on the back side. I got all that welded and ready to go. I'm not painting the baffles. It doesn't matter. The only thing I'm going to paint is just the top of the deck. Anywhere there's rust and stuff, man. I may run me a bead on the back of this just because I can, just on the back just to fill in, because there was a little bit of a gap there, and a wire feed welder to me, and everybody might not think this, but a wire fed welder, which is what I got, it doesn't do real good filling in gaps. Like when I was in school, high school, it was a long time ago, I never used a wire fed welder like that one. I always used we had stick welders, and a stick welder you can fill in big gaps, because of the size rod that you're using. You can use, different size rods. So, yeah. But this deck's coming together, man. And, just things like this, man, that really set you apart from everybody else, man. Really does. But we'll get it all together tomorrow, of course. Of course, y'all know I ain't got it on the mower yet, and it ain't made no money for me yet. So, yeah, that. All right, y'all. This Ray, I'll kick back, man.